Hey, stranger. Yes, I am here. Don't worry about it. We had to lock in on a lot of fronts, okay? PsyOp 8, my favorite by far, was a resounding mid. And this is the dichotomy that I want to talk to you guys about today. The AI overlay video is on the way. It's just got to find the time. I'm doing a lot of things, contrary to popular belief. Anyway, okay, so where are we going to start? One, you can start calling me Chad GPT. I like that. I'm not going to change my usernames, but Chad GPT kind of goes hard. Um, okay, so let's go over some housekeeping. PSYOP number 9. The theme for it, I'm thinking old timey 70s, 60s, no, like 50s. 50s, black and white, Chadwick, DJ Chadwicked. And then PSYOP 10 is honestly a little bit of a group effort. I've had some of my friends from Tampa, some of my friends that I've just now met um, send me some AI still frames that I think is going to be dope. But it's basically going to be me all across the globe. I'm really excited about that one. They are going to trickle out slower because the analytics of the situation are telling me, Chad, stop making original, interesting content. Nobody cares. Keep pumping out that schlop. Are you not a schlop farmer? I thought that's what we were here for, Chad. I thought you farmed absolute mind-numbing schlop. And you're right. You're right. My bad for thinking I was artsy. I'm just a silly goose. Yeah. But we are doing well. I am exhausted. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is a lot of work, but it's fun. Things are looking really good analytically. 52,885 views in the last 5 days on Snapchat alone. Um, I don't know. I don't have the analytics in front of me for the other ones. They're not nearly as much, but they're in the thousands. We gained. We went from 28 followers on TikTok to 84 in a matter of 5 days. A follower is a big deal, I'm finding. On Instagram, nothing has really changed other than the views on the reels. And I think that has a lot to do with the check mark itself. But yeah, on Snapchat, I feel like that's like where I kind of have semi clout, Z list celebrity. Um, with that being said, I want to talk about it's not the elephant in the room, but to me, I think that this is going to be a real moment, and I hope that if you're from Snapchat or if you're just trying to build something online or you're just a person, hear me out. The hypersexual nature of Snapchat is not healthy. I think that everybody I like of my followers that I just accept and like actually let be a friend instantly in some capacity instantly in some capacity sexualizes me. It's not healthy, my friends, for every interaction to be sexual and to think that I owe you something because I accepted your friend request on Snapchat. Now, that's not to say I want to be everyone's friend. I want to respond to as many comments as I can. And I want everyone to that sees my content to laugh and some capacity it made you giggle, whether you're laughing at me, with me, think that I had an original take. That's great. But I am and this, it's crazy. This is because I'm a guy, so I can't imagine, but I'm not a hunk of meat to be foamed at. Just and then get mad whenever I'm like, oh, I'm just a guy who likes to make people laugh. Anyway, I'm not gonna fall into any more rage bait. Moving on. But yeah, y'all are gooner coded. Not you guys. Not you guys. I'm just saying, and if you're gonna try this, here I'm gonna get to something more serious about trying this in a second. But if you're gonna try this, grow a following, grow a base, a community, create something, then know that you need at first you need a couple strangers who are really interested in what you have going on, and that's a fact. You need someone who does not know you in real life that values your content, and you need a solid group of those. You need like 100 that are like looking at everything, responding to everything, asking you, "Oh, how did you do this? What did you? Oh, hey, oh, I feel this way about that." You need those. You need like 100 of those. Finding those is difficult, and also like the ones you want. Okay, because there's gonna be a lot of people who they could be mentally not healthy. They could be stalker vibes. They could be a lot of things. The internet is a dangerous place. And when you're up and coming, you're excited about any new follower, any attention with your content. And you're like, oh, what do you think about my content? And they're like, let me see a spread wide eagle, bald eagle style. I want to see you completely butt naked. And you're like, I thought I was just a slop farmer. Yeah, so you get used to it, and you know you need to know how to diffuse it. So now at this point, I literally just have a paragraph that I copy and paste. Hi, I'm a guy that just makes art and funny videos. If you enjoy my content or enjoy making fun of me, feel free to message me. I'm by no means famous, but I am trying to build a community, and that's all I'm trying to do here. I literally just copy and paste that after they say, "Hey, hi," because there's a lot of weird people who immediately, especially as a guy, like a lot of the women, I'm not dogging on women, I'm just saying these specific women, they will be like, they'll say, hey, and I'll send that message and I'm like, okay, well, and then they'll say like, oh, I don't even know. They'll say something wild. And then you'll just be like, haha. Or like, no, I'm just making content. And then they're like, they spaz out on you. And a lot of these people are not healthy. I get that. But you have to find your first initial like 100, essentially fans, supporters, and that's how you get the ball rolling. You need people who value your take on life, your content, your creation. You have to go find them before people start finding you. And that is treacherous. I think it is different for if you're a girl. It's more dangerous, but it's less. You don't really have to go find, because any just random dude might stumble on you and then be like a fan from there. But as a dude and a dude who's not, I mean, I post like gym stuff, but yeah, I'm not, this isn't like a sexual thing. Um, I joke about like mogging and stuff and like staying healthy, but yeah, I'm not saying anyone needs to change, or I'm not calling anyone in specific out. I am just saying that if you are going to attempt what I'm attempting, know that. There's a lot of that. Okay. Also, if you're going to make a real attempt at this, just know that this is going to be a part of your real life. There's no way to do this and it not be in your real life. People that you see day to day making comments about the content that you're putting out there, if you want it to be as absorbable as possible, it's got to be in every way available, which means there's no chance that people that know you will not see it. So you're going to have ridicule, be made fun of, be questioned, people get insecure, people embarrassed for you, secondhand embarrassment, people thinking that you're on drugs, people thinking that you're insane, people thinking that you have a God complex, all of these things. When you just want to be a creator, this is just something you want to do. You're actually gonna have to just eat it, eat it to the face. There's no way. Let me think of a cheesy example. Like I Show Speed. That kid was just streaming. He was streaming for like 3 people. And he was streaming at his parents' house with it under his mom's roof, screaming. And she would come in. You can go look at early I Show Speed clips. She would come in and scream at him, the blank bleep blah bleep 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 bleep, just wrecking house. Even when he was pretty successful, she would come in and like just rip him to shreds. And I get it statistically, you'd be like, my kid is being insane right now. But it's like one of those things with like a gym study, right? When they have a bunch of like normies off the street and they conduct a study with 100 people, a gym study, and then when you look at the results and everything and you're like, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Then you hold on, let me think about it for a second. I'm none of those people. We took 100, this is a randomized double blind study. You took your sample size is people who have never trained. I know this is specific to the gym, but this applies to never trained, this, that, the other. So you're never going to, you know, if you want to be mundane, you want to be boring, then you could be like, well, a lot of people try. A lot of people fail. Most people fail. 99% of people fail. Cool. I'm not one of them. Same thing with the gym. Oh, a lot of people, you want to go to this. Half of the thing with the gym is knowing what to do. The other half is knowing how to train hard. And that's the part that a lot of people miss. And having both is literally, that's the answer. But people be like, oh, I mean, I'm sore. You like, there's a breakthrough moment where you're like mind over matter. I don't care how I feel after this. I don't care if I'm sore tomorrow. It's kind of like this. I don't care what the immediate people around me think. That you have to have that mindset. Like, granted, you have to keep your life in order, but you can't let, if someone makes an off comment about your content, you can't get mad at them because you chose this. You thought you were special enough to post. So you kind of have to eat it to the face. But if you keep going, it's just like the gym too. I didn't feel good about my physique until 10 years of training, which is this year. I wasn't like super confident in my physique until 10 years of every day gymming. And I am now a content novice, semi-content novice, learning the ins and outs. And it's every day you're learning something. You're like, wow, there is actually there's so much nuance to a single post. The science to a viral video, let alone the science to building a community, let alone the science to coming up with ideas and being creative. It's there's so much to it. So you're going to fumble. You're going to look silly, just like I did when I first started the gym. I looked silly. I made a fool of myself. And you know what happened 10 years later? Since I never gave up and I'm not wishy-washy and I showed up and I did what I had to do, now all the people who kind of semi-tiptoed in, semi-tiptoed out, they get the same results over and over and over again. You're either all in or all out. This is your life. This is my life. I'm doing this. And that's something you're going to have to learn how to do. Like I said, I'm a Z-list celebrity, but I am on the list, baby. I'm looking at 52,885 views in 5 days. Now that's to someone that's got a big following. That is detrimental. That means that they are not going to make a living anymore. To someone who's just starting, that's awesome. That's potentially 20,000 different people, 10,000 different. It could be 7,000 people have seen my content because a lot of it's rewatch, a lot of it's just swipe through, swipe by real fast. Let's say 7,000 people have seen my content. Okay, now let's say half of those people actually paid attention. I'm getting a call. God damn it. Okay, 3,500 people paid close attention to a piece of art that I put out. Now let's say that 10% were like, wow, I think I'm gonna follow and keep with this guy. You see what I'm saying? The lower it gets and the more specific it gets, the more special it is. Up until you could divide it by 52,885 and say I have one true fan. That's dope. That's dope. I can't. I'm sorry. That's like this is what I remember when I was a kid. There used to be this YouTuber named Elite Shot, and all he did was review Call of Duties. He was just like your basic YouTuber back in like early like 2008, and I thought he was just the coolest. I just thought it was so cool that journey. He's not even a big YouTuber, but he still does it. He makes a living. He's shout out Elite Shot. I don't even watch him anymore, but I just still check in and like all of his videos when I can. It's something that you have to want. And one thing that I do pride myself on is like I really don't have an ego about it. Let me have an ego. Once Chad has an ego, though, there's gonna be. Never mind. I can't. I can't. I can't. Anyway. Okay, so we're going full circle on that. So the reason that I fell off on making some of that original AI stuff is it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time. The analytics for them, they never slap, they never pop off, they don't even get in the thousands of views. A lot of the people like my in the community that I'm building, they love it, and that's where I actually get the most engagement on a comment and DM level. But views and likes, actually likes are up there, but views are low. So, obviously, as a person that's trying to grow a community and a channel and a brand and blah, 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 and be creative for a living, at some point, ideally, um, I realized the schlop, baby, that's where it all started. The schlop. So I had to get back to schlopping it. Just digging that trench, plucking those crops. Schlop, here you go. 30-second clip, 30-second clip, 30-second clip. You love it. You love it. They love it. So I'm going to end this off by saying think of content like the closer I get to the content, the more apparent it becomes. I think I already knew this before I was doing this, but content is the media consumption is a diet. If you watch mainstream media, you're going to have that thought pattern. If you watch short throw up clips with 8 different tabs open on one screen where it's subway surfers in one corner, a guy doing a monologue, and then a guy dancing, and then at the very left is a guy reacting, then you're going to have severe ADHD. Or you're just going to give yourself brain damage. And I hate that that's like where this is heading. And I can see it firsthand. The things that I try really hard to be creative on and that I'm like the most proud of tank because they require some level of attention and appreciation for something original. The more I bite off other people's already produced content and I'm just like basically essentially reacting, it just does so much better. And that's just a shame. But if you're here right now, you're literally supporting an up and coming creator. You're obviously someone who thinks different and clicked the link, followed from somewhere, sought me out, and that shows that you're not the kind of person to sit down and like just watch a movie or like that you didn't choose. It's like being when someone tells you like, oh, you have to eat this. I hate that. Dude, no, I'm gonna choose what I put in my body. Dude, no, I'm not gonna watch that. You can send me stuff, but I'm gonna watch it on my own free will, and because I'm gonna consume what I want to consume. So it's interesting. I think the bigger the YouTuber, obviously they're a massive ship moving in the night, and they have to they have to follow course at a certain point because they got employees, they got a lot going on, so they do that group thing. And so the more you whittle down to like real people, one, we're still real people. So like I don't have some massive team. I'm still like just a guy. So this is the true essence of content creation right here. This is real. I'm not faking it. So the more not the less subscribers they have, the better. But it's like, once they get to like, 10 plus million, just know that there's so much going on behind the scene that you can't even fathom. And like you don't know what to think is real, what's scripted. They don't want you to know. That's the whole point. And their own creativity is stifled because they're while they're in charge, there's a lot of other interests. And I can only hope and pray that I become that way someday, clouded. But for now, I'm purely just a guy wanting to bring you guys. One, I want to make the world laugh. Let me do my mission statement. I want to make the world laugh. I want people to experience my content on a big scale, my own original content. I like that people. I want people to appreciate the schlop because those are funny hot takes, and I want to be a free thinking, speaking, acting human being, self sufficient, my own community that's helped support me and I support them, and eventually one day have employees and a whole thing that just I want that for myself. You know, chat's popping off. Anyway, it's been Chad GPT. I'm working on more YouTube videos. I'm sorry I slacked off. I was on a freaking roll, but I had to lock in and make that schlop. I love you guys. Stay supportive. There's gonna be some cool stuff coming on the YouTube. That isn't gonna be just me sitting here and talking, but that's kind of the whole point of this, so you guys can see where my thoughts at. I'll keep reading off the plan, and also things that I note as I become a content creator and bigger. We are growing. I know that I'm kind of somber. I've had a long day, but 52,885 views on Snap alone in the last 5 days. God bless you. Thank you. And keep slopping it.